What's up, Okie Nation, and welcome back to 2025 ACC Kickoff. It was Virginia Tech's day here in Charlotte, and we got to sit down with a slew of student athletes as the Hokies preview the 2025 season. Kyron, Jaden Keller, Kelvin Gilliam, and Donavon Greene all sit down here at CSL, so let's get it rolling here from Charlotte. And we keep things rolling with Virginia Tech's starting quarterback, Kyron Jones, here from ACC Kickoff in Charlotte. Kyron, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah. What has this past year been like for you, kind of getting back healthy and getting back on the field?
It's been a frustrating type of year, but I mean, everything happens for a reason. So I just had a small procedure done that needed to be done, and now I feel the best I felt so far since I had it. So if I had to play a game tomorrow, I'll be perfectly fine, and that's credit to the medical staff, and I'm just glad I'm in the position right now.
You mentioned the frustration. How nice is it to finally be fully healthy once again?
It's real nice. I mean, just not to try to fight through injuries each and every week and nobody really know what you got going on unless you're in the locker room. But I'm glad to be finally 100% better now, and I'm just ready to get camp started and go into week one.
Just for those that don't know, what was it kind of like putting yourself through what you were putting yourself through to get on the field late in the season last year?
I mean, the players knew what I was going through, but at the same time, like, Coach Pride knew the competitor in me wasn't going to let him tell me, nah, I can't go out there and play.
Yeah.
Like, as long as I could feel like I could do what I do best, and that's be a dual threat QB, I was going to go out there and play no matter how bad it hurt. So it was going to be hard for him to tell me no until it unfortunately got to that time where he had to tell me no. So it was a no-brainer. I was going to keep playing until I couldn't no more, and that's what I did.
What are your thoughts on Philip Montgomery coming to Blacksburg? I know you had a little bit of a prior relationship with him as well.
Oh, yeah, he offered me out of high school, but I feel like that only helped our relationship. Like, that him offering me out of high school and then you wanting that Virginia Tech job, knowing I'm the QB, that just means, like, you want me to be your QB. So me and Coach Monty's relationship is, I love Coach Monty. Like, I feel like I know him longer than just February. Like, me and him piggyback ideas off each other, and him just being a quarterback guy, you wouldn't want that. You wouldn't want any other thing than that as a QB. So he just makes the offense better, have confidence, and make you play freer and faster.
I remember when he came in the studio in Blacksburg at Tech Sideline that he mentioned when he took the job, he had a conversation with you back then in February. What was that conversation like back then, and what did you guys kind of hash out?
Just what he expects out of me, what he sees in me, what he saw in me in high school, what he sees in me now, and then just I told him to hold me to a high standard this year. I told him to hold me to a higher standard like he did RG3 when he won the Heisman. I want the same thing. So just hold me to a high standard. Don't let me have an off day. I know I'm the leader of this team. I can't go in there and have a day where I'm lacking, a day where I have an off day. I just got to be on it no matter what, whether that's things are going good or bad. I just got to be myself each and every day, and then just going out there and being me.
So a lot of different personnel, obviously. But when you look at the group as a whole, what is the biggest difference between last year's group and the group that you all have this year in 25?
I feel like this year we are more of a team. Granted, last year we had a lot of returning production. This year we had all our production leaving, and we had to go get hella transfers. So Coach Pride made an emphasis on it this year to have team brotherhood, and then just keep having team bonding, and that really helped us a lot. Just get to know who we playing next to, get to know other people's why and why they're here, what made them get here, how they get to this point, and then just knowing your brother that you playing next to, know your brother that you putting everything on the line for. So if you can't put your body on the line for your brother, then you can't win those close games that we didn't win last year. So
how challenging was that for you and maybe a guy like Benji? Guys now, like, you're two of the offensive guys that are returning this year, but you look around you and pretty much everybody else is new. So maybe how challenging was that for you in the spring, even though I know you didn't finish spring ball, but obviously now in late July as well?
I wouldn't say it was challenging. I mean, the most challenging thing is, like, you don't know them, you don't know how they play. So that just come with the winter workouts when we came back, just doing that extra workouts outside of what we were doing just to get the timing down and get to know everybody, see how they run a route, see what they seeing, doing that extra film with them, and that's what we did. So by the time we got to spring ball, I feel like Donavon, a new receiver, I feel like me and him had played, if it looked like me and him had played together for a long time than what we did. So me and him always on the same page. Me and him got a great relationship. So, like, just knowing the different players and doing that extra stuff with them, it helped a lot.
You mentioned the new transfers. There are a lot of them being talked about publicly. but who is somebody that maybe isn't being talked about from a transfer standpoint that maybe we should be?
As a transfer, I would say Marcellus Hawkins.
Okay.
Not getting talked about a lot. And then defensively, I would say James Junku. He not getting talked about a lot, but I feel like those are people to watch out for this year, and they're going to have a breakout season.
What's it been like playing behind Matt Moore's new offensive line?
Oh, I love it. I mean, you can see a difference in the offensive line that we had last year, and then just how much they know the game even more with Coach Matt Moore. And then just the standard that he sets for the O-line each and every day. You see it's a high standard, and he not taking no slacking like Coach Monty.
Yeah.
Like Coach Monty's not either. So the standard that he sets for the O-line, the extra workouts, the extra meeting they always do, they do that every day. And I haven't seen that since I've been here from the O-line. So I'm just glad that they're the people protecting me.
I asked Kelvin about this earlier, which will air later in the video, but can you speak to the opportunity you guys have to lead off the season? South Carolina, obviously in Atlanta, and then I know it's one game at a time, but with Vanderbilt coming to town week 2 as well. So 2 SEC opponents, and obviously the South Carolina game's massive too.
I mean, what better opportunity than the season we had than to show people why we're not the team to sleep on and open it up with South Carolina and then backdooring with a Vanderbilt team that we need redemption on. Like we should have, I feel like we should have won that game last year. We left it in overtime, and unfortunately I didn't get to finish that game either. But what better both two opportunities to have for a team like us than those two. So we're really excited for those opportunities. Obviously we're going to focus on South Carolina first and then get to Vandy, but we're really excited.
You mentioned last season, obviously there was a lot of expectations coming into last year, and this year it feels like maybe the shine is a little bit more on, I mean, heck, North Carolina's here today. Maybe it's not about their team, but North Carolina's here today, and there's a lot of shine on that. When you look at this year's group, do you almost feel like you guys are embracing maybe that you would be a dark horse team in the league this season as compared to last year?
Almost definitely. This team loves being an underdog. We love people doubting us. We love that not everybody giving us the hype like they did last year. So, like I said, we just want to prove to ourselves and prove to everybody else that we're not the team to sleep on. We're just going to go out there. Nobody knows what we got brewing out there. Nobody knows the workouts that we're going through. And then we're just going to go out there week in and week out and go try to win. Yeah,
100%. I asked about the offensive line. What about the West Virginia transfers up front? What do you think they're going to bring to you guys this season? And obviously following Coach Moore from Morgantown as well.
They're going to bring a lot of depth in the O-line. Thomas Remack, he's going to bring a lot of experience in the O-line. He's a really good player, and I love Lucas and Kyle. Kyle, my center, nobody expected, I know I didn't expect him to be that mature as a football player with him being a freshman last year, but he's a really good player, and he's a dog, and I love that I'm behind him.
100%. Kyron, thank you so much for this time. We appreciate it. Get home safe. It's 4:30, so you guys are about to hit the road here in a little bit. And so are we, so we're glad to get home, but appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
We're joined by Kelvin Gilliam of Virginia Tech Football. Kelvin, thanks for hopping on. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to start with this. One of the big storylines for Virginia Tech football this past offseason was hiring Sam Seifkes. What has been your impression of him and how he's run this defense so far?
Yeah, Coach Seifkes has been a blessing for us since he came in January or whenever he came, but the whole thing about him that he treats us as a pro, and coming from right from the NFL level and stuff, all he demands is our best from us day in and day out. And for him to come with all his knowledge, with all his, his brain, to come in and really set us up for success, he's just been great being here so far.
It's interesting because obviously you're a Richmond guy. You started at Oklahoma and then transferred to Virginia Tech.
Yep.
How much pride do you take in being from the 804 and representing an area like that at a flagship school like Virginia Tech State?
Huge pride of, and one of the best things that I'm blessed to be right here back in my home state, playing in front of, an extreme passionate fan base and stuff, and just being, 3 hours from the road, having my family come up to each game, having people from Richmond coming up to each game. It's just been a blessing so far.
Can you talk about somebody like Ben Bell coming in and the impact that he's going to have on the Hokies this season?
Yeah, I always should talk about Ben Bell and, James the Junkup, two of the guys, two of the ginger freaks that what we call them. So they have just been been great and stuff. Of course, Ben Bell, been at Texas State, had huge success there. James DeJuncum, Arizona State, Eastern Michigan. Those two guys are going to be really good on our defensive line because we all have the same mindset. They all want to grind. They all want to get better. And for them to come in and stuff, the impact they have, I'm excited for them to have a great season this year. So
for you all to achieve the goals you want to achieve, what maybe has to work a little bit differently defensively this year compared to last season to maybe take that step up after going 6-7 a season ago?
I'll definitely say, the whole narrative about last year is that we had all these close games. This fan base was so passionate last year, coming, it's all golden year and all this other stuff. For us to really come in and change the narrative, we have to look inward and see what did we do last year that we didn't do well. And it comes down to us being a real hard team together, like coming in, working in, or anything that we have to do to really dominate and come out to have the season that we need to have.
Can you kind of speak to the opportunity you guys have going to Atlanta to play South Carolina? And then I know it's one game at a time, but Vanderbilt in week 2 as well. So back-to-back SEC opponents to start this season. Can you kind of speak to that opportunity for Virginia Tech?
What a beautiful story that we're about to read. We're about to write. Coming in, not having the season that we had, coming in with all these changes, coordinator change, coaches changing, and really coming in to a quality opponent, an SEC opponent, like you said, with a talented team that we're about to face. And it's really going to show you and set the tone for the season we're about to have. Look at Vanderbilt last year, how that crazy overtime game, I don't know if the double overtime or how many times we in overtime. And Loki set the tone for the season that we had. So this South Carolina game is going to be the same type of thing. You're going to see what type of team that we're going to have right there that first game of the season.
So there you go right there. How important is it to set the tone when you guys go down to Atlanta for the year?
It's extremely important because you're going to see, what type of chemistry we have. How are we, running to the ball? What type of defense we're going to bring out there that first game and stuff. So it's extremely important to hit the ground running and starting fast that first game.
Well, Kelvin, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Enjoy your day in Charlotte. I know it's busy, but it's a fun day too, so really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Welcome back to ACC Kickoff here in Charlotte, now joined by Jaden Keller of Virginia Tech Football. Jaden, thanks for hopping on. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you having me.
I was talking to Kelvin Gilliam about this, and I do want to ask you a similar question, but one of the big storylines this past offseason was bringing in Sam Cephas. What has kind of been your impression of him, and how he's running this defense so far?
He's just elite ball knowledge. He has he's that guy who just knows everything about football, and just coming from like you said, coming from the league, and all the guys on the team aspire to get to the league, one day and get to that next level. Just having someone that's been to the next level and knows what it takes, knows what they're looking for, and just give you all those types of pointers and coaching points that you get from a league coach. So just having him is crucial to just how this defense wants to play, the direction it's going. Just having him, just being able to teach us and treat us like we're pros in almost that aspect. But he's been a huge help. He's been a great guy to just pick his brain, just learn as much as I possibly can from.
So you arrived on campus in 2021 at Virginia Tech. Why come back for a 5th season here in 2025?
I feel like there's a lot of stuff that when I signed here, there's that tech tradition just of 10 wins, just having a great season. I haven't fully accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish here, and that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to come back. This place has showed me so much love. The fans have shown me so much love, and I just couldn't imagine spending my last year anywhere else.
What is it going to take for you guys? You mentioned to take that step up this season and accomplish something you maybe have not in your previous 4 years. What is it going to have to take this season to be able to do that at Virginia Tech in 2025?
It's going to take some elite buy-in. I think we're going in the right direction. We're trending in the right direction. We're going to need a team that plays for each other. Not just a bunch of individuals that are chasing individual stats or chasing accolades or something like that. We really need a bunch of selfless guys that are going to play for one another. Offense playing for the defense playing for the offense, special teams playing for your brothers. So just having guys that are all bought into the same goal or aimed at the same target, and that are just going to go out and fight for not for themselves, but rather for the guy that's playing next to you, rather for the guys playing on the other side of the ball. I feel like now this year we're going to have a lot more. This emphasis this offseason has been really being one unit, one team, one goal, one mind. So just being able to play for your brother next to you is really going to be that driving factor that separates us from other teams.
you talked about the other side of the ball, and obviously I know you're in the linebacking core and you're not up front, but what have been your impressions of Matt Moore's offensive line in his first year in Blacksburg?
Yeah, I feel like it's crucial. Offensive line is that's your team goes as your offensive line goes.
Yeah.
They're a big part of any team's success and how your offensive line starts the game off. So just having those guys, and I think he's coaching them up the right way. I think we're getting back to that, and it's always good competition every single practice going against the offensive line. It's always a little chippy in practice, but that's how good programs are. You can be friends after practice, but we're trying to get better, and that's how iron sharpens iron. So definitely the O-line gets us as backers better, and I for sure would like to say that we're getting the O-line better for sure, and the D-line as well.
How nice is it to have Kyron healthy again here this season?
It feels great, just having him back there, calling the shots, running the plays, kind of like the same thing with O-line. He's always making us better. It's just, if you can figure out how he reads stuff, he's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the ACC. So going against him each and every day, it prepares you. It prepares you for anything that we can handle anything else outside whenever we start playing. So just going against him, iron sharpens iron. We're getting him better. So just what we need is that competition that we're looking for. So making practices as competitive as possible. You don't want defense to be dominant every time. You don't want offense to be dominant every time. You want it to go back and forth. That's how you know you have a good program. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's interesting too because obviously this past offseason we mentioned Sam Seifkes, but there's a lot of new personnel as well. And I hate to ask a pretty basic question, but from a transfer standpoint, who has maybe stood out that people should probably be on the lookout for?
Yeah, I think we got a bunch of them. I think Coach Pride did a good job recruiting. He went out and found guys that match our system. Match the type of hard hat mentality that we have. If you're here at Tech, there's a reason. We don't just recruit any type of every type of player. So people that are here, they're bought in. They want the right. They want to see the right stuff. But some of the transfers, you're going to talk to one of them, Donavon Greene. He's a great player from what I've seen so far. He's always making a big play in the spring. So Donavon Greene. On the defensive side of the balls, we got a whole bunch. We got all our back end safeties. Tyson Flowers, IBM. We got corner Sibo from Hawaii. I'm excited to see what he's going to do this fall. We got our ends up front. James, DeJoncum, all those guys up there that just came in, just added immediate value. Ben Bell, guys like that, just added immediate value to the team. We got a couple in the backer room, Mike Shore, Santiago, that are just going to be able to add to what we're trying to do and what we're trying to do as a defense. So I'm really excited for this camp, really to get it started.
Yeah, I asked Kelvin this too, but I do want to ask you a similar question. Can you speak to the opportunity you guys have the first 2 games of the year? I know it's one game at a time, but to go to Atlanta, South Carolina, SEC opponent that's coming off of a really good year, and then obviously Vanderbilt in your house after what took place last season. Can you talk about the opportunity you guys have against 2 SEC opponents?
It's huge, and whenever you grow up as a kid and you come up, you decide in your mind that you want to be a Division I football player, whenever that may be. Whenever you think of what it's like, you think of these type of games. You think of your little self playing in these type of big games, against those SEC opponents. So it's a huge opportunity for us. Not a lot of people believe in what we have, and not a lot of people know what's going on behind the scenes. So I'm excited to go showcase it to the fans and just showcase what we've been working on. Coach Ferg and the staff, all what we've been doing in this whole summer, all this off season. So I'm excited for it. Those are the games you live for. Those are the games you dream for. The smaller games are cool, but the big games is what you really like.
You talked about Coach Ferg real fast too. I want to slide this in here if I can. Yeah. What has been the biggest difference from a strength and conditioning standpoint, do you think?
It's really just really team oriented. Really big on doing everything as one. Like I said, that's one of our biggest focal points. In a time period now with the transfer portal and a guy's new team can be a new team every year. It's really a rush and a hurry to get all the guys on one page. You got guys coming from all over the country, different backgrounds, and really the team that cares the most about each other. The care that's really on the same page is gonna in my opinion has to be the most successful. Just having a bunch of guys that are all driven in and aimed at the same target, it's dangerous. It's hard to stop whenever you have that many people on the same page. this time period with the transfer portal and all this stuff, it's hard to find that. So that's really one of our focal points. You know, whether that's lifting, whether that's team activities, whatever it is, just trying to get everyone that brotherhood that Tech always been. You know, back in the day, like all the guys they like. Coach Eggs, Coach Price, how they was back in the day, like just having that brotherhood where you go out there, you play for the guy next to you, not for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Jaden, thank you so much for swinging by.
Yeah,
I know this is a busy day, but it's an exciting day, so really appreciate it. So thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
And we keep on rolling with our student-athlete interviews from the ACC Kickoff in Charlotte, North Carolina. Joined alongside Donavon Greene, one of the newest Virginia Tech Hokies. I'm Carter Hill. Donavon, thanks for swinging by. We appreciate it.
Of course. Glad to be here.
So you've probably been asked this question a million times, but you entered the portal this past offseason leaving Wake Forest, and you come to Virginia Tech. Why did you want to be a Hokie, do you think?
I chose to be a Hokie in the portal. I was looking for a place that wanted to welcome me in and just forget about everything that I had been through. Just in my college career, obviously I had some ups and downs. That's one of the main reasons why I'm still in college. But I just wanted to go to a place and just have a fresh start, and Virginia Tech was that for me.
How cool is it for you? Because you're from Mount Airy, correct?
Yeah.
So you get to play at Wake, and then now you're, an hour and 45 minutes still down the road playing Blacksburg, too.
Honestly, it's honestly just a blessing. I could have been anywhere, but obviously I still have the privilege to be an hour and 40 minutes so my friends and family can still come to the games.
What has it been like playing alongside Kyron Drones?
It's been crazy. I haven't been around a quarterback who's been as consistent and as close to perfect in every aspect of the game as Kyron Drones.
Okay. What were your impressions of him maybe before you got to Virginia Tech, watching him from afar?
Me being at Wake, you hear about the hype. Heisman quarterback. You also hear about the downfall of him, battling injuries. And coming in, I had to talk with him about that, and he's just on a different path, and he's gonna have a different year.
Can you speak to the versatility of somebody like Cameron Seldon coming in from Tennessee?
Oh yeah, obviously a running back at Tennessee, but he's transitioning into being a wideout very well, and I think he'll have a great year.
What has been I know obviously it's your first year at Virginia Tech, but what has been your impression of somebody like Philip Montgomery? Obviously a veteran offensive coordinator and is in his first year in Blacksburg too.
He's made everything so just comfortable and relaxing, if that makes sense. Everybody respects him, and he respects everybody he coaches. And he's just a guy that just wants to play fast and score a lot of points. And he's just, as an offensive coordinator, giving us the opportunity to play with swagger, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You're from the same area as Benji Guys now.
Yeah.
Were you familiar with him in high school growing up?
I never got to play against him, but I was definitely familiar with him. I played with his brother who graduated from Tech last year, Stephen Gosnell,
Okay. He's somebody that seems like is pretty much an anchor in the locker room too. Yeah. What's it been like kind of seeing him? I know obviously it's your first year, but seems to be a pretty big leader in the locker room too at Virginia Tech.
Coming in, he was definitely one of the leaders on the team, and he was one of the guys I swarmed to because I came in and I needed to be a leader, someone who guys needed to look up to. So I kind of, moved towards him to learn some things and try to learn how the program was ran.
What are you most looking forward to about playing at Virginia Tech in Lane Stadium? Obviously, you're probably going to get asked this a ton, but you haven't run out Tender Salmon yet, so obviously that's part of it too. But what are you most looking forward to about playing at Virginia Tech, do you think?
Honestly, just running out to Enter Salmon for the first time.
Okay.
And I don't know, I just feel like people up here like football, and people up here are invested in what we have going on and curious about what kind of season we're going to have. So I'm honestly just excited to play for just my brothers who I'm working for every day, and the people in the stands who care about us.
What has to happen for you guys offensively to have the season you want to have, do you think?
You said offensively?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Honestly, for us to have the season that we know we're capable of having, we just need to be consistent and to remain healthy.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Well, Donavon, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you swinging by. I know it's a busy day, but we appreciate you taking a couple minutes. So
appreciate you.
All right, that was great here from the 2025 ACC Kickoff in Charlotte. Been a fun couple of days, and it was nice to be able to cap it off with the student athletes at Virginia Tech. So appreciate everybody tuning in all week long. Got a lot of content out there from Charlotte, and I think some content's going to continue over the next couple of weeks. Got a podcast coming next week to break this whole thing down from the Virginia Tech side of things, and then Eddie Royal potentially may stop by the studio as the ACC football road trip takes to Blacksburg in about a week and a half. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you very soon.